to start a new series. You will probably remember Salvo from this video up here, somewhere. I put it up here, when we were talking in Sicilian. But I want to start a new series about who does it better, British or Italian.
And what do you think?
Well, it depends on the topic.
Okay.
Today we're going to talk about communication.
Communication, both in Italian and in English.
Yes, who does it better? So I think we should start by talking about communication when it comes to work.
Okay, so communication at work.
Yes, like when you apply for a job, for example.
Okay, so you mean when you send the CV and the cover letter to the employer?
Yeah, but it's not a cover letter that Italian people write, it's a cover novel.
Why? Because
you tell a whole story. Hello, my name is Salvo. I'm X years old. I live in Palermo. I have this and this and this. It's like a story. It's not a cover letter. It's the story.
It's the story of your life. It's the story of your past experience. It's the story of everything.
But do you think an employer has time to read a story with every single CV that comes into the office? No, so I don't know.
Yeah, but you have to do a good selection of your human resources.
Yes, but I think this is not right because I read an amazing book and I think you should read it, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And he talks about the fact that every person is intrinsically interested in themselves. So when you write to people, you need to write with that in mind. They're not interested in what you ate for dinner or what your favourite colour is or where you were born. They're interested in what you can do for them as a company. Like that is the mindset behind it. And if you write a cover letter where you are writing with the employer in mind, I can bring this skill to help your company. I've got this experience that can help your company. It's way more effective, I think.
Okay, no, that's true because they're much more interested in your skills and your competence. Okay.
Yes.
But so I think that according to you, we should abolish also the photo on the.
Yes. Why do you have a photo on your CV?
I don't know. This could be a bit. Sometimes maybe discriminatory, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, because maybe it has to do with physical appearance, maybe?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you in this case. But if you write maybe a bit of your interest, hobbies, because life is not made of just work. So if you have maybe some hobbies like you can draw or you can sing, maybe it's like you can give a creative approach to your job. So you can solve problems. That's a problem solver. So because without creativity at work, I would be maybe like a zombie. So.
But that's what some employees want. They just want zombies. They don't want people that are going to do creative stuff.
I'm not happy about doing the same routine every day. I do the same routine, but in a creative way.
Okay.
So this is the secret to like your job, to like what you really are doing at that moment, and so creativity will save the world, in my opinion.
Yes, I love to be creative. I agree with you, and especially, I know we're kind of like going off on a tangent, but creativity is something that can help you to approach problems in a better way. Rather than seeing the world in black and white, when you're a creative person, you can come at something from a different angle and perspective, which is important, I think. So
you know the theory about the right and left hemisphere of your brain. So, no?
Maybe, I think I've heard about this.
So now I don't want to mistake the two sides of the brain, but I think that one side is creative, I think the right hemisphere, and the left hemisphere gives you maybe a mathematician approach, sort of a scientific approach to solve the problem. So I think that I have to improve the left hemisphere and be maybe a bit more organized.
Okay, yes, a lot more. This is a whole other video. I can tell you. But I honestly think though that in terms of communication when you're applying for a job, it is so much better, and this is definitely like I think a British approach, so much better to write with the employer in mind than it is just to talk all about yourself. Because essentially the employer is interested in how you're going to make them money, because let's face it, this is business, and they are more interested in what you can do for them than they are in whether you can sing or write.
Yeah, this is true, but I would feel like maybe a number, so like a soldier.
But excuse me, when you work in a company, we are just numbers. We are pieces in a puzzle.
Yeah, it's true. But if you use creativity, you can maybe turn it down.
Oh. Okay. So
Maybe.
yes, it depends, I guess, on the employer. But yes, what do you think, generally speaking? And this is difficult because every organisation is different, every company is different. But if there is a problem within a work environment, do Italian people tend to speak up, do you think?
So maybe you mean when you...
If there's discrimination, or if there's somebody that's been treated unfairly, do Italian people tend to speak up? Generally,
maybe
in a work environment?
Maybe not.
And this is interesting because in the UK especially, there is more of a culture to speak up, especially within work, because there are more laws to protect employees, and if somebody is being treated unfairly or discriminated against, people are more inclined to speak out against that kind of behaviour in the UK. And I think as well, this ties into the whole thing about employees being easily replaceable here in South Italy.
Okay.
There's this mindset, and this is why I don't think people speak up.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I have a utopistic vision of the matter, and I think that if you're good at work, you feel good, you feel the right atmosphere in a job, in your office with your colleagues, you can work much more better. But maybe this is just my opinion.
Yes.
So maybe I'm like a dreamer.
It's true. I think it depends very much on the employer. Not every company here in Italy is the same, not every employer is the same. But I think in general, British people are more forthright about putting themselves forward, being proactive, talking about their skills, and also speaking out when things aren't right in the workplace.
Yeah, the important is that you have not to be selfish.
Yeah, okay, yeah, this is true. This is true. Speak out, but always kind of thinking about the bigger picture.
Yeah, maybe yes. We should speak out a bit more.
Yes.
We should speak out a bit more because communication is at the basis of our society. So if you don't communicate, you cannot solve the problems, and then maybe something could remain broken.
Yes.
Not fixed.
Yes, and get worse. This is the problem.
Yeah.
When people don't communicate, problems fester. Okay, when it comes to customer service in a shop or in a restaurant, I want to give you a scenario. You go to the bar, you order a spritz, the spritz is flat.
Flat, you mean spintato?
Yeah, like no fizz.
Casato,
No fizz, okay?
No fizz.
No
Okay.
fizz.
No
What
fizz.
do you do?
So, I would maybe drink it and a bit disgusted. And then maybe order another specialty, maybe something special from the restaurant, but I won't go there anymore.
And this is the problem. Why wouldn't you say anything?
Because maybe I'm from the peace.
What do you mean you're from the peace? What do you mean you're from the peace?
No.
But if you pay for the spritz with your money that you work hard for. And
Yeah,
if the
I
spritz
don't
is
want
flat,
to-
why don't you say something?
Yeah, because maybe this is something linked to my own character, maybe.
Okay.
It's
No,
not.
but it's not. It's not, Salvo, because I've been in restaurants before where I've seen groups of people in Italy, groups of people waiting ages, like beyond normal lengths of time for their food. complaining amongst themselves at the table. The waiter comes, oh yes, we'll have this, thank you, thank you, thank you. They don't say anything, nothing at all. And they've been waiting ages and they're not happy. This is not just you, this is an Italian thing.
Maybe in this case you are allowed to go out to live without paying.
Yes, but why? I want to know, because in the UK we have a culture where if something isn't right, we speak up, always. Like, for example, you have bad service in a restaurant, we ask to speak to the manager. We receive some kind of, I don't know, bad product in a shop, we ask for a refund. Like, we have this culture.
Yeah, maybe I use it via Amazon, the refund.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, but
because you don't have to speak to anyone.
I just have to write, I don't have to speak with anyone, so it's easier.
This is the point, but why? Because for the confrontation.
Yeah, I don't want to maybe rise the crowd.
Like, you don't want to.
Right? No, I don't know.
You don't want to antagonise people. You don't want to make people angry.
Yeah, maybe okay. It's okay. I see. It's a very bad service in this case. So okay, I'll pay, and then I said this place won't see me anymore.
But what is wrong with that though? Because think about it. If you have this bar and you're having a terrible day, like maybe 2 staff members are off sick, right? And you're not able to give the best service to your customers. And everybody is unhappy, but nobody speaks and they don't come back. What's wrong about that in terms of the restaurant or bar?
Even if you speak up, okay? The solution won't change.
You said that nothing changes if people speak up. Why? Why doesn't anything change?
I think that it's a bit a matter of cultural influences and normally the other day, for instance, I was watching a video about how Italians make jokes between each other and how maybe they start to laugh and they are completely maybe cracked up.
Yeah.
Okay. And on the other hand, when somebody else makes jokes about ourselves. Ourselves?
Ourselves.
Okay. We get offended.
Yes. So it's this. This is why.
Yeah. It's
this is why people don't like to hear feedback.
I would say we were a bit touchy. So
yes. I wonder if it's because of this, definitely. Because definitely I think, okay, this is so generalised because of course there are people in the UK who don't speak up. But generally speaking, as a culture, we are more vocal about bad service, about things that aren't quite right. Like, we are more vocal. And I do find
tend to speak with our body language.
Yes, yes, this is true. And with your feet, because you don't go back to these places.
Yeah, with my feet. And it always starts in your mind. Okay, yes. So with the hands, so for instance, I want to make an example.
Okay.
When you land with the airplane, maybe in an airport, okay?
Yes.
We tend to communicate with the hands because we start clapping.
Yes, you clap when the plane lands. I've been on this. I was like, what's the celebration? Are we landing?
Because it's a way to say thank you to the pilot, which
really, this is really sweet.
Which brought us at home in flesh and bones.
In one piece.
In one piece, yes, in flesh and bones.
Yes. But it's this, I've been on this, and so yes, this is a nice way to communicate, I guess. But I think
this.
Yes, it is. I think personally, Italian communication is not very good when it comes to bad service. I think overall, we are better.
We try maybe not to be rough.
Yeah.
And trying in a certain way to be politically correct and polite.
Yes, but it doesn't mean you can't speak the truth. If something's wrong, it's wrong. You can stop.
Yeah, you can tell the truth, and this is a good point because, in my opinion, we should talk more because maybe probably just because I studied communication in my life.
Yes.
So I think that communication is at the basis of everything.
It is.
Everything.
It is.
Starting from maybe the beats.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
going to up to the elder people.
Yes.
People.
It's so important, communication.
It's very important in our society. It's at the basis of our society. If you can communicate good, you could have much more job opportunities.
Yeah, more job opportunities and better service from shops and restaurants, and especially if shop owners were more open-minded to receiving feedback as well. I think it's got to be on both sides.
Another thing we could improve could be empathy. Empathy
Yes.
in communication.
Yes.
I know that maybe in Denmark at school they studied it as a school subject.
Wow.
Yeah, I watched a video the other day about empathy, studied in Denmark in Danish schools to like a school subject, as a school subject. So I think empathy is. For instance, when maybe doctors talk to you and say to you something bad, we should be a bit much more empathetic.
Yeah, like a little more sensitive to the situation.
Sensitive. So maybe we are a bit more sensitive. You are, and you English are a bit more.
We are more direct. We're
cold and direct.
Yeah, we are cold sometimes. I'll be honest, but this is not for everybody, because I talked about this in a previous video, and people were like, "Oh, but the British people don't speak. They have this stiff upper lip." But I think it's not true. It's not
these
representative
are cliches, of course.
But total cliche.
Anyway, they have been invented.
Maybe there was truth sometime ago.
There was a truth in the past. So
yeah.
now the society has changed, and.
But I think, from my experience of living here in Sicily and in South Italy, I definitely think that the British people communicate better when it comes to bad service, 100%. Because I always speak up. If my spritz is flat, if my food is cold, I'm not afraid to say something.
And in your opinion, where do Italians communicate better?
When they're driving their car. Mamma mia.
The worst example.
The worst example. It's true in Sicily. This is when you see the Italian people go, like, this is the communication. It comes alive behind the wheel of the car.
Yeah, and it's like, it's like a form of art. Yeah, because
to drive in Palermo.
Then you also start to play some instruments like the horn of your car. So you become artistic in a certain way. You have to find the right word to swear against others.
Yes, it's true. But I think one form of communication which you guys do really well is with the hands. Because, us British people, we tend to communicate sometimes non-verbally with our face. Like, we might have like a bit of a screw face if we're not happy about something. But we definitely are not like all this exaggerated movements. We are not like this as a culture. We're very so I think you communicate very well through body language. That's one thing that I think you guys do really well.
Yeah, but probably body in a certain way, body language is more important than verbal communication.
Yes.
Yeah, it's maybe there's a study now. I don't remember exactly the source. Maybe there's verbal communication, non-verbal communication, and probably we are specialized. We Italians are specialized in non-verbal communication.
100%.
Even if you don't speak up, you speak up with your body language.
Yes,
as far as customer service is
It's true, but I also think as well, like, sometimes your body language can be confusing though. Like, when I first moved to Italy, I saw all these people like this with their hands. I come from a culture where if people are moving their hands, it's because there's a problem. Like, people are angry, people are like in a bad moment. Whereas people do all of this, but they're actually just really happy about something, or they're just enthusiastic or excited. And sometimes it can be confusing from an outsider perspective to interpret body language.
Now you succeed in decoding this kind
I'm
of
better at
gestures.
the body language than I am with the words. Because I don't have to pronounce anything, I just do this.
What does it mean?
Okay, so let's talk about family.
Yeah.
Because I feel like communication between families is different, especially here in the south of Italy compared to the UK. I feel like, yes, we can have close families in the UK and they speak to each other on a regular basis, but I feel that here there's definitely more of a focus on communication between families. What do you think?
I think, for instance, that maybe sitting in front of the table for lunch, for dinner, or it's an important moment of the day during which you can maybe talk about your problems, talking about your daily routine with the members of your family, with your parents, sharing opinions, and it is something that in a certain way can reinforce, can you say? So,
reinforce
the feelings inside the family, and then maybe you can also talk about your problems.
Yes.
Of course, in Italy we say that we are a bit attached to our parents, for all with the mom. Because in Italian term, the Europeans in general consider us non-moms, so very strictly linked with our mom. But this is just a stereotype, a cliche. Also this, like we were talking about 2 minutes before. Every family has its own stories, of course, and
yes,
its own experiences and different ways of living.
Yes.
But in general, it's true. Family and communication inside the family, it's an important matter of fact in Italy. Okay. And I was thinking about also, we have concerning communication, we also have a special family lexicon. So a family lexicon, there's also a book called Family Lexicon, a Lessico Familiare from Natalia Jean's book. And every family has its own words to describe something that maybe nobody else would understand if told outside the family group, okay?
Yes.
So for instance, my family does an hilarious term, a hilarious word. This is an adjective, okay? To describe some people who is basically, I would say, scoperto in English. Scoperto, when you are when somebody maybe look at you, okay, and you didn't want him to look at you because you was maybe doing something
that you
wrong.
shouldn't be doing. Okay. Okay.
Then we say sgamato, maybe.
Okay.
It's a new word. But we say in my family, pui pazzo.
Okay.
Well, try to repeat.
Where? Say sorry. Pui pazzo.
Pui pazzo.
Pui pazzo.
Pui pazzo means a big octopus.
Okay.
So you have to think about the image, the metaphor. You have to think about an octopus in his cave. A cave? Yeah, when it's under the sand. How you call the house of the cave? No. I don't know.
Under the sea.
Under the sea. Okay. It tries maybe to hide under the rocks. But if you see him and you want to catch him, he starts to look at you maybe like this.
Okay.
Because it is he has been discovered. Okay.
Okay.
So,
found out, caught out. Yes.
So found out, caught out.
Yes, maybe in this sense. Okay. I like this. So there's even different communication words that are unique to families.
So have you got maybe some example about your family? Maybe a creative word, a creative verb used just in your family?
No, nothing. Like I don't even know if this exists in the UK, but I can't think of anything. Honestly, like this is maybe the first time I've heard of this concept. Like for me personally, in my family.
Basically, these nouns are linked to funny stories which happen in the family. So when you was a child, or maybe using maybe a baby talk, so maybe your nephew said something different in a different way, and then it starts to be inserted in the official dictionary of the family. So
Yes,
this
I
is
love this.
family lexicon, okay?
Okay, this is
So
good.
many communication.
So I think
family.
overall, who does it best? Communication, British or Italian?
Okay, let the people, the public decide.
This is a good idea. Okay, who do you think does it best? You've heard our discussion about communication and the cultural differences. Comment below and tell us, who do you think does it best? British?
Okay, and
or
put a
Italian?
like.
Yes, like and subscribe.
And subscribe.
Yes. See you in the next video.
See you next
Ciao.
video. Ciao.